Today we will see remaining part of your compression. Now tableting is a compaction process. It involves the two steps, compression as well as the consolidation. Compression already we have discussed, that is the reduction in the bulk volume, and consolidation means to provide the mechanical strength to your material because of the your applied pressure. See, these are the actual stage occur inside your machine when we are filling your material inside your die cavity. So it is the initial stage when we have added the material and upper punch is comes at the down and it just touches to your material. When it starts to touch your material with the high pressure, so initial rearrangement of material takes place. So this is the first step. Next step is that your pressure is again increased, and up to the particular level your upper punch presses your material and it decreases the volume of your loose material. So we can say deformation is going to take place. So that deformation may be permanent or non-permanent or plastic or elastic. So when your tablet is converted or prepared here, or loose material is converted into the tablet, then we can say deformation is occurred. Now after the preparation of the tablet, we have to eject the tablet. So in the next stage, your upper punch will get at its own position, it will go at the back position, it means upper side, and your lower punch will try to eject your tablet or remove that tablet from the die cavity at the upper stage. Now here your lower punch will try to remove your tablet. So it is called as the ejection stage. So these are the main stage involved in stages of compression. Now what kind of changes occur in case of your initial or the first stage? So in the initially transitional repacking will take place or the particle rearrangement will take place. Generally granules to be placed inside the hopper of the tablet press, and formulation processes are designed to ensure that a fast production rate and weight variation of the final tablet should be minimal. When we have added such kind of material into the hopper, and it will travel to your die cavity. In the initial event, the punch and the particle movement occurs at the low pressure. It means your upper pressure just touches to your material, so it will have the little bit pressure. Then the granules or the loose material flows with the respect to each other inside the die cavity. They will try to rearrange itself on their. Then the particle rearrangement, generally what happens, the smaller particles will try to enter the void spaces or the empty spaces between the larger particles. Then it will cause the increasing pressure again, because your pressure is continuously increases. So it can cause a decrease in the relative movement of the particle, because whatever the possibility is there, shifting of your small particle into the void spaces, so that may be finished. Okay, so that's why at the certain period the increase in the pressure will be there and the movement of that particle will be stopped inside your die cavity, and final reduction of volume will takes place. Further there is no space and no reduction of volume is possible. So this is called as the rearrangement of all the particles. When your rearrangement is takes place, your such kind of picture will be there. Your upper punch is coming down here, your loose material will try to take place in such kind of position, and they will try to compact. Okay. Generally when your rearrangement is takes place and final movement is stopped, again your pressure is getting increases, so final deformation will be there. It means final conversion or the tablet will be prepared. So that prepared tablet may be elastic or plastic. Now the deformation or the conversion of your material into the final tablet is called as deformation. Generally deformation does not completely recover after the release of your stress. It is called as the plastic deformation. When your tablet is not changing, it means your material is plastic in nature and you are having the permanent shape. and sometimes your deformation or the converted shape of that material may get changed after the removal of the pressure. So that may be called as the elastic deformation. See, deformation is here. Generally, there is a saturation of particle rearrangement, or we can say there is no again space or the no chance for the reduction of the volume. That's why your particles have to stop rearrangement, and then it will take the final deformation. So that final deformation is nothing but the preparation of your tablet. Generally, in this case, reduction of the porosity as well as the reduction of the space is there, and change in the structure of material may be possible, or your loose material is directly converted into the final tablet. See here, stress applied, deformation is there, and removal of your spaces or the gases is there, and then your tablet is converted, your material is converted into the final tablet. Now when your elastic or plastic deformation is occurs, or when your granular material is taking place into the elastic deformation or the plastic deformation. When it is taking the elastic deformation, it means what? It is the second phase of tablet compression. If your granular material is converted into the plastic type of deformation or the final tablet, it means it is called as the third phase of tablet compression. Suppose in case of elastic deformation, particles generally partly get modified in their shape. It means they are not adopting the permanent modification in their shape. That's why it is called as the elastic deformation. In case of plastic deformation, all the particles are completely get modified in their shape. Generally, deformation completely disappears after withdrawal of the force. That is called as the elastic deformation. Means when you are pressing your material inside the die cavity and you are removing the pressure, and if that granular material is not converting into the tablet shape, then it is, we can say, elastic deformation, and after removal of that pressure, your particles or that granular material will look like as initial shape. So there is no any tablet. But in case of plastic deformation, if your material is getting converted into the intact tablet, so it is called as the plastic deformation, and your particles will not change their shape and size when you are converted into the tablet. Now what is meant by fragmentation and deformation? Generally, fragmentation means what? Breaking of the particles or the fracturing of your particles into the small particles. At the high pressure, when you are applying the upper punch high pressure, a force can cause the fracturing of your particles or the fragmentation of your particles. When we are applying the stresses, it causes the fragmentation or the deformation. Okay. Generally, fragmentation further causes the densification with the infiltration of the smaller fragments into the void spaces. Generally, when we are applying the pressure on your particles, it can cause the fracturing of some particles. Some big particles may get fractured into the small particles, and they will try to set up at the void spaces. So this is the one stage is occurs during your initial repackaging process. So fragmentation may increase the number of particles and form the new particles, as well as it may form the clean surfaces of that particles that are having the potential bonding area. See here, when we are applying the pressure, it causes the, we can say, development of the new particles, as well as it may have the ability to develop the bonding capacity inside your small particles. See here, again in short, we can say fragmentation is nothing but we can say to cause the, we can say, small particles, and to that particles we are providing the compaction energy. Big particles get converted into a small particle, and that small particles may get displaced, or they may acquire the position into the void gaps of the larger particles. Now, after your final application of the pressure, generally bonding will take place. It means when we are saying that there is a plastic deformation is occurred, it means what? Your total granular material or the loose material is trying to acquire the final shape or the final tablet shape or the compactness. So how it is takes place? It is because of the bonding. It means whatever you are added the binding agent or the gum we have added, so it will cause that binding or that all the particles will try to bond each other. That's why you are getting the compact tablet. So that is called as the bonding is occurred inside your particles after the application of the pressure. So for that bonding, there are the several theories are there. They are explaining that how your bonding is getting or how you are getting your tablet or how the particles are attaching to each other. So these are the, you can say, mechanical theory, intermolecular theory and liquid surface film theory. So these three theories explains how your particles get joined to each other and how they are converting it to the compact mass. So first theory is called as the mechanical theory. So after application of your pressure, generally one theory expresses that under the pressure, individual particles undergo elastic or plastic deformation and the edges of the particle intermesh or forms the mechanical bond with each other. It means because of the pressure, your particles will try to bond or to attach each other because of the high pressure. So mechanical bond exists because of that pressure, and the total energy of compression is equal to the sum of energy of deformation. Heat and energy adds up for each constituent. Mechanical interlocking is not major mechanism of bonding in the pharmaceutical tablets. See here, when we are applying the pressure, generally that pressure generates the energy inside your particles, and that energy is utilized to bond all the particles with each other. Another theory is the intermolecular theory. As per the intermolecular theory, at the surfaces of the solid or at the surfaces of your granular material, there are some unsatisfied intermolecular forces develops when we are applying the pressure. That forces interact with other particles and they try to bond that material because of that intermolecular forces. According to this intermolecular forces theory, under the pressure, the molecules at the point of contact between the new particles and the old particles. New particles means which are formed because of the fractionation. So there is the development of the different surfaces. Okay, when you are breaking your particles or the fragmentation is takes place, so they are called as the new surfaces, and those particles which are not broken down, they are called as the old surfaces. So there is interaction occur between the old surfaces and new surfaces, and they will try to bond each other, and that forces developed on between that particles are called as the van der Waals forces. That forces will try to interact that particles with each other or towards each other, and they will try to cause the bonding. So it is called as the intermolecular theory. Simply, there is the development of the intermolecular attraction because of the pressure, and that attraction is nothing but the van der Waals forces developed on the surfaces of the particles, which can cause the bonding of the particles at one place. So there is the development of the intact mass. See here, your initial particles at the surfaces and the another particles at the downside or at the bottom. Generally, these particles have broken down particles or the newly developed particles, and these are the old particles. And because of that pressure, these particles are gaining the van der Waals forces of attraction. That's why these particles will try to attract each other, and they will try to bond in the compact mass. Now the last theory is the liquid surface film theory. As per this theory, this theory attributes towards the bonding of present because of the thin liquid film inside your material or at the surface of the particle because of the energy of compression. So this theory is having the one statement that there is the development of liquid film on the surfaces of the particle because of the application of the pressure. During the compression, an applied force is exerted on the granules. However, locally or the force is applied to the small area of the true contact so that very high pressure exists at the true contact surfaces. The local effect of the high pressure on the melting point and the solubility of the material is essential for the bonding. So whatever the pressure is applied, it can cause the melting of the some particles and they try to get embedded or fixed with each other. So this is the intermolecular, this is the liquid surface film theory. So with the increase in the solubility at the point of true contact, solution usually occurs in the film of absorbed moisture on the surface of the granules. When the applied pressure is released and the solubility decreases, the solid dissolves in the absorbed water, crystallizes in the small crystal between the particles. So as per this theory, when we are applying the pressure, it can cause the little bit solubilization of the particles at the contact places, and because of that solubilization, that material will try to stick each other and it can cause the compact mass or the compact material. Generally, liquid surface film theory is having the, we can say, solid bridges and hot welding and the cold welding. Now what is meant by the solid bridges? The formation of solid bridges is also referred as the diffusion theory of bonding, which is occurs when two solids are mixed at their interface and according to form a continuous solid phase. So it is called as the solid bridges. It means two materials are attaching with each other by forming the, we can say, interparticular bridges. Okay. Then another concept of this liquid surface film theory is that hot welding. Under the influence of applied pressure, edges of the contact points between the particles undergoes a possible melting. See, already we have discussed this one. There is the melting is occur or the solubilization is occur because of the generation of the heat, because of the generation of the heat, because applied pressure, and that causes melting, and because of that melting, each and every particle will try to get fixed with each other. Under the unloading of the stress, or when we are removing the stress or that upper punch we are removing, at that time that melted condition particles will get solidified and they will try to form the hard compact mass. So it is called as the hot welding. Hot welding, why? Because we are applying the pressure and at the surfaces of the particles they will try to get melt because of the development of the heat with the pressure, and as the some particles are getting melted, they will try to fix each other, and as we are removing the pressure or we are removing the upper punch, that particles are getting again solidified. So that is called as the hot welding or the joining of the particles. Now the cold welding means what? Cold or the contact welding is nothing but the solid state welding process in which the joining takes place without melting of the particles at the interface of the particles. Okay. When the surfaces of the two particles come close to each other, there will be the generation of surface attractive forces which can cause the bonding between the two particles. It means without generation of the heat, all the particles are getting attached to each other. Okay, because of the interactive forces between the particles. So there is no any generation of the heat. So without heat, that particles are getting attached to each other because of the pressure. So that is called as the joining of the particles or without presence of the heat. That's why it is called as the cold welding. Now these are your theories which are expressing regarding how your particles are getting joined. Now next step is the decompression. Decompression means when we are releasing the pressure, when your upper punch is getting at its own position. So that is called as a decompression. After the compression, and consolidation of the powder in the die, the formed compact mass must be capable of withstanding the stresses encountered during the decompression and the tablet ejection. It means when we have prepared your tablet inside the die cavity, now that tablet should have the proper strength. Okay, that tablet should have the proper strength or the hardness to withstand against the various stresses, okay, encountered during the removal process of the tablet from your die cavity. The rate at which force is removed, it means the rate at which your upper punch is removed or it is retaining at its own position. So during that case, there might be chances that your tablet may get changes in its own shape because we are releasing the pressure. So at the same time, the deformation characteristics that come into the play during the compression, it play a role of during the decompression also. So after application of the maximum compression force, the tablet undergoes the elastic recovery. Already I have told you that the deformation may be of the two types, plastic or elastic. If you are removing the pressure, then your tablet may have the, we can say, elastic deformation or may have the tablet deformation. Now it is depending on the property of your particle or the material. Now decompression is simply just we are removing the pressure. Now after that, second stage is the ejection. Now your upper punch is removed, your pressure is totally removed. Now your tablet has to remove from your die cavity. So that removal of the tablet from the die cavity, that is called as the ejection. Now how your tablet is removed from the your die cavity? Your lower punch will push your tablet from the downside and it will eject your tablet after or the upper position of your die cavity or above your die cavity, and then your tablet will be replaced. So this is called as the ejection. So the lower punch is having the responsibility to push the tablet from the downside towards the upper side and it will remove your tablet. Now in this case, sometimes that force applied from the downside to your tablet can cause the breaking of your tablet. So here your tablet must have the little bit hardness or the, we can say, ability to absorb that stress which is developed because of your pushing of the lower punch. So at this condition your tablet should not get breakdown. So that's why your tablet must have some hardness or the compactness. So this is called as the ejection. Generally, when we are ejecting your tablet, so we can say we are applying the pressure or the force from the downside. So it can say that inside the die cavity, when your tablet is coming upper side because of your lower punch, so there is a development of the lateral pressure on your tablet. Okay, and it may cause the breaking of your tablet. So sometimes your tablet after removing from the die cavity also may get changed or it may expand little bit. Okay, generally all kind of material may get expanded near about 2 to 10%. It means when we are removing the pressure, so some plastic material also can change their own shape also. So this is very minor one, 2 to 10%. Now when we are ejecting the tablet or we are removing the tablet, so that is called as the ejection. Now during all the process, how your total forces are applied and how they are distributed on your particles. Generally the equation is there, that is called as the Fa is equal to Fl plus Fd. Now Fa means what? The total force applied to the upper punch. When upper punch is pressing your material, so that is called as the total force applied by your upper punch on your total material. So now how that pressure is we can say categorized or how that pressure is divided. Generally force transmitted to the lower punch and reaction of the die wall due to the reaction. So this is the, we can say, Fa, that is the total force applied to the upper punch, is equal to the force transmitted towards the lower punch from your material, from upper punch to your material and from material to your lower punch. So that is, we can say, total transmission of the forces occur from upper punch to lower punch, and the we can say reaction of your die wall cavity, because we are applying the material force on the material. That material may exert their pressure on the walls of that container or on the walls of your die cavity in which your material has been filled up. So that sum of that both the forces is nothing but the total force applied by your upper punch. The mean compaction force can be calculated by dividing this both forces. Now there are the various forces are involved, that is the frictional force, distributional force, radial force and ejectional force. What is meant by frictional force? When we are applying the pressure by your upper punch, so fractional forces are interparticular friction and die wall friction. Generally, when we are applying the pressure, it can cause the friction of the particles, okay, as well as your die cavity is there. So with your die cavity also, we can say friction is takes place because of your upper punch. So interparticular friction forces occurs due to the particle contact, okay, and it is more significant at the low applied load. These forces are reduced by using the glidant as well as the colloidal silica. Then die wall friction force. Die wall friction force occurs from the material pressed against the die wall, because when we are pressing your material will try to push towards your die cavity. It is also causing the friction with your die cavity wall, and it is dominant at the high applied load. These forces are reduced using the lubricants as well as the magnesium stearate. It means if we are applying the pressure on your material, what is happening? Your interparticular friction is there, okay, and they may stick to your upper punch, or that particles may stick to your wall. So these forces or the problems caused because of that interparticular forces can cause the sticking. So that may be reduced by applying the any kind of blinding agent, as well as we can apply the lubricating agent to the walls of your die. See, this is your various kind of pressure, okay, towards the die cavity as well as towards the lower punch. Now distribution of the forces. Most investigations of fundamentals of the tableting have been carried out on single punch press or the even isolated dies and punches with the hydraulic press. So the force A is applied upper punch, L force is the transmitted to the lower punch, and F is the reaction at the die wall due to the friction at the surface. So this is the already we have seen distribution of the force. So this is the distribution of the force at the total die cavity. See, this is your die cavity, this is your upper punch, which is giving the pressure, and the response from the lower punch is coming to the upper punch. These are the radial forces. Then lastly ejection force is there. That is the radial die wall force and die wall friction also affect the ejection of the compressed tablet from the die. The force necessary to eject the finished tablet is known as the ejection force. This force can be eject tablet by breaking the tablet or die wall adhesion. So variation also causes the ejection force when the lubrication is inadequate. So this is the deformation of the material or the complete preparation of the tablet. So how they are giving the pressure onto your material, okay, depending on that pressure your tablet may get changed or it may form the compactness. So in another language we can say as your particle is getting compact, so we can say they are acquiring the more density. It means they are removing the white spaces or they are eliminating the gases. So that's why density of material get increases. As the gas is added, the density is get loosened. As the gas is eliminated, the density get increased. So as the pressure is applied, the material is getting the high density. So see, this is we can plot the graph at particular pressure we are having the particular type of dense material. See, this is about your compression. Thank you.